Now you've seen some examples of how .NET supports natural comparisons. It's worth stepping back a moment to compare comparisons with equality. The three main tools we have used for natural equality are the objects.equals and related methods, the IEquatable of t interface, and the two operators. If we contrast that with the support for comparisons in .NET, first up, there is no equivalent of object.equals for comparisons. Next, by analogy with the IEquatable of t interface with its strongly typed equals method, is the generic interface IComparable of t, which any type can, if it chooses, implement. The main feature of this interface is of course the compareTo method. I should also mention there is an old non-generic IComparable interface, which we don't really need to worry about. It defines a compareTo method which takes an object as an argument, so it's basically just the same as IComparable of t, but it's not generic and not type safe. And then, by analogy with the equality and inequality operators, C# provides syntactic sugar for comparisons too, in the form of four operators: less than, greater than, less than or equals, and greater than or equals. Finally, we're not covering plugged-in comparisons until later in this course, but I'll just add the plugged-in comparisons interfaces to the slide for completeness. The obvious difference between comparisons and equality here is the lack of any equivalent to the objects.equals methods. Why is that? Well, the thing is, when it comes to equality, in general we expect to be able to test any type for equality. That's why support for equality is embedded in system.object. However, for most types, it doesn't make sense to do ordering comparisons. Is one integer less than another integer? That question makes sense. Is one button less than another button? Is one delegate less than another delegate? Clearly, those questions are nonsense. Supporting comparisons wouldn't make sense for the vast majority of types in .NET, and because of that, it would, frankly, be silly to have system.object support comparisons. This means that, whereas for equality, IEquatable of t is merely a sometimes useful supplement to the system.object methods, for comparisons, IComparable of t really is the way that types should declare that they know how to compare themselves.